Hello and welcome everybody. This is my third YouTube tutorial, I guess that is. I'm just going to go here. This is my tutorial where I make the tutorials and stuff. Which basically I have a 10 subscribers. So I'm asking you to subscribe, sorry. And I will just go to the point where I am just going to show you what we're going to make today. So I have been browsing YouTube a lot these days, and I have seen this School of Mentors, tutorial about making a pigeon. And I thought, they use Cinema 4D, so I thought I could make this in Blender, like show the guys that the software doesn't, differ a lot. So I'm just going to show you how to make this in Blender, the Blender way, the Blender way. And go check him out. He got a cool tutorials making about motion graphics and Cinema 4D. And we have some we need some reference image, and you can download it from their website. I'm just going to put the link in the description, and enjoy the tutorial. This is by no means it's Cinema 4D versus Blender stuff. I'm just going to show you some stuff that are in Blender and in Cinema 4D too, and I'm just going to show you why Blender have this kind of stuff. We're just gonna start the tutorial. I will be using Blender 2.9 Alpha. This is a pre-release, not an LTS version, but it works. It has some cool features. Just go ahead, check it out. So I'm just going to go ahead, like every Blender user do when they start their project, they delete the default cube. But in our case, we are going to delete everything. But first, we have to enable the screencast so we can see what you guys are doing. So as always, navigation crash course. Middle mouse to rotate around your object, or use this. Bam. Shift middle mouse to pan around your object, or use the hand option here. And to zoom in and out, straightforward, zoom, scroll up and down. So they start the tutorial. Select everything, A, select everything, X, delete, and Shift A. Let's add a cube. But how do we model this cube? We need some reference to refer to. So we need the the reference that was made by the School of Motion. There's a link in the description, and in Cinema 4D there's a weird way of adding the background reference and stuff. In Blender, that's just straightforward. Just go to Shift A in image and just add a reference. Go to where you have put in this pigeon and select this part. Now I'm just going to select the front one, and here we have it, the reference, but we want it on the front side of this, so we want to rotate it on the, let me show you here. We have the X rotation, the Y rotation, and everything. So to reset everything, you can just select everything and click 0, or you can just if you mess it up, Alt R, nice shortcut. RX to rotate it on the X axis, and bam, we have the X axis rotated. So I'm just going to put it here and go to the front view using the number pad 1, clicking the number pad 1, and I'm just going to go to control 1 to add some subdivision modifier on this. So subdivision modifiers are here. If you want to add it manually, you can just go to subdivision surface. And quick note, this doesn't work if you don't have a number pad. You should go ahead and do this manually. If you don't have a number pad, you just go preferences and eliminate numpad, so you can use the top part of your keyboard as if it is your number pad. So let's go ahead and model this. So modeling can be easy in Blender, and Cinema 4D you have to go to, I don't know, you have to change this to editable mesh or something but in Blender you just have to click tab, you go to edit this thing. So if I select this too and I can move it, you see why we don't have this to select it. So we have to go to the X-ray mode here, and toggle X-axis mirroring. So we have the X-axis mirrored whenever we do anything. That's a cool tip in Blender, but in Cinema 4D I don't think they have this feature. They just have you just have to add a mirror modifier, and I don't know what modifiers are called in that software. I'm just going to go ahead and start doing this. I'm just going to scale it down, S to scale, G to move, R to rotate. Some basic stuff. You can also use this, and I'll just use this. And when you might have been wondering why I am using this as a low poly model, and you can just add some level of segments in here, but whenever you're doing any kind of modeling, just start with the smallest amount of vertices that you can. So I have to add the side part. So I have, as I have showed you, you just go image, reference, go to side part, Alt R, Alt G, RX 90 degree, and RZ on the Z axis, Alt. I'm just going to go and use this for once. Never used this before. So I'm just going to move this in the X axis, which is this, like this. I'm just going to go ahead and go to the front view and side view to check if our pigeon is, if our model is on the same spot. So I'm just go ahead, edit mode, select everything, GX, GY, and add here. And I'm just going to go ahead and extrude this and extrude it again. So I'm just going to show you a quick tip around why I am using the lowest poly model, and I will be applying this soon. So I'm just going to select this to not that too. I'm just going to use the bottom part, extrude it up, scale it down, G, and move it here. Keep adding details, more geometry, Control R to add edge loops on your mesh if you haven't figured out yet. Sorry, I'm not telling you everything so fast like this. I'm just going to go ahead and change between the modes, you know, the view and the wireframe mode. We are going to check this modes later, but I'm just going to go here and add some kind of, you know, parts, more definition from the front view. I'm just going to select this and move it to the outwards more. Select this part, and move it like this. So we have a nice looking pigeon, which we are going to add more geometry to it. So Alt Z to disable the wireframe modifier, the X-ray mode. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply this modifier. So you might be wondering, why did you apply this, and why not just continue modeling with the subdivision modifier on? I'm just going to show you some research I have done. If you call this a research, this is the subdivision modifier without not being applied, and I used this edge loop in the center, so I could just, you know, add leg around here, you know. But there's always a but, because we have an edge loop going around, so the subdivision modifier is evening this part. It's not as spherical as this is. This become to take the shape of the object. So we have to apply this with one, you know, and go ahead and add another after we applied this, we add a subdivision surface modifier. So we have the nice geometry going around like this. You know, if we go to 0, we have this geometry. We shade flat, we could see, and we go like this, and this, it should get more defined and defined. So I'm just going to continue doing our work, you know, and click this part. In Blender, you have nice features that are the proportional fall off mod. So this is somewhat related to sculpting, but not really. You can just, you know, when you move, it will affect its neighboring models. So I'm just going to align with it with the model more, so I could just, you know, make it look good. So we have nice types of proportional, smooth, fall off, and you know, just go ahead, play with them. You know what they mean soon. If I go ahead and start modeling the legs, insert, which in Cinema 4D means inner extrude. I don't know what that is. Inner extrude. Who calls inner extrude? Wow. And we disable individuals. Yeah, we make them individuals and insert them more. P and Z. I'm just going to disable this proportional and add some kind of subdivision modifier to this, so we have a nice looking geometry to work with. So I'm just going to extrude it on the Z-axis like he did. So I think the leg is a little bit, you know, I'm just going to scale it up a little bit skinny, so I'm just going to go ahead and individual origins. Just whenever we're scaling, we are scaling the individual origins. So I'm just going to go ahead and extrude them in the Z-axis. Now we have a nice looking geometry, but it is somewhat rectangle, not a square, so we want them to be a square. So we have toggled the individual origins on, so we can just go ahead and add it like this. So add some kind of more subdivision modifier, and I'm just going to add some edge loops around here, so we have nice looking geometry here. We can just, you know, add some mirror modifier so we can speed up the process. Delete the vertices. Bam, we have some kind of geometry left around that don't want to be deleted, so I'm just going to add a mirror modifier. And we, as always, we want the mirror modifier on top of everything, so I'm just going to go ahead, bam. Okay, why this is looking weird for some reason, so I'm just going to G and Z up. So in Blender we have a nice feature called clipping. It clips geometry, but here I don't know why is this happening. I'm just going to ignore it for a second, and oh yeah, we have deleted this part. That's why it's looking weird. Now we have this leg here. So I am just going to add some edge loops around it, so we have nice geometry to work with. So I'm just going to scale this in the x-axis, so we have nice. So we want this on the floor, so I'm just going to go right click loop tools and flatten this, and if you don't not flatten this, SZ, scale it in the z-axis, so we have everything on the floor. Add some edge loops, scale Z0, and we want the legs to come out from here. So I'm just going to add another select the face, extrude the face, you clicking E, scale it down, add this here. You can just use this leg looking something, you know. I'm just going to go ahead, extrude this part like he did in the Cinema 4D tutorial. I'm just going to click Insert Faces, scale it down, move it upwards. So I'm just going to go ahead and click this part and scale it in the x-axis 0 and just move it inwards, so it looks like that one. So we have this massive leg, so I'm just going to go ahead, scale it down, so it's looking terrifying. I'm just going to move it down a little bit So we have this or not. I'm just going to go ahead and select the top parts of this and scale it down. And I'm just going to add another edge loop around here, scale it down. Now the legs look a little bit weird, so I'm just going to dissolve these geometries so we have leg looking something, so I'm just going to X and dissolve the edges. So now we have this. So I'm just going to add more edge loops around here, so we have this. So I am just going to select this 3 and scale them in the x-axis and make it 0. Now we have this. So I'm just going to go ahead and move geometries around. So we have a nice looking geometry to work with, I guess. So the leg is looking kind of creepy, so I'm just going to scale it in the z-axis, scale this in the x-axis, start defining the legs more, smooth it. Just going to click this, move it like this, move it like this, so it won't affect us. So I'm just going to leave it like this. I'm just going to move this to backwards so we have more, it looks more good. Just going to scale this to down and go to the edge select mode, clicking the number pad 2, the keyboard, and dissolve this edges. Nope, dissolve. It looks good, it looks good. G and C, G and C. We have this, so I'm just going to go ahead and model this. The rest of this, like, I'm just going to select this part, shift S and cursor to select it. I'm just going to go ahead and add a cube and add some subdivision modifier to it. Control 2 subdivision are going to be enough for us. Just going to scale it like this and scale it shift Y, shift x-axis, so we don't affect the x-axis while we are extruding this. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this part, so we can see the background. So I'm just going to go ahead and toggle the wireframe mode and estimate what it is going to look like. So I'm just going to go ahead, GV, because it's like this. It's kind of hard to navigate around it, so I'm just going to select this. You can just hide the mesh, but it's too much work for something that you can just estimate. I think this is good. Nice. So I'm just going to add some kind of more volume to it. G and X axis set. Nice. So we have this. Don't worry about the all around here. We are just going to go fix it. The rain is coming. I don't know if you can hear me. Maybe I should stop it and go ahead, continue, but I'm just going to go ahead and rotate this from the top view, which is 7 on the number pad. Okay, we have nice looking geometry, so I'm just going to move it in the x-axis to blend in more. So I'm just going to select this edge and move it shift X, not affecting the x-axis. I'm just going to go back. This looks good. So we don't want to model this again. We can just mirror this, the mirror modifier. It's just a good habit to keep the mirror modifier on the top. Just believe me. will leave you from too much trouble. So you can just click this and mirror around this. So I'm just going to right click, smooth this. Bam, we have everything working. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this too. In the x-axis, extrude it on the x-axis. Bam, select this part, fill it. Select this, fill it. Okay. So we need the tail. I'm just going to extrude this part. Disable the clipping of this because we want them both differently. So I'm just going to add some more geometry around here so we can work like this. I'm just going to click flat, smooth it again so we get rid of that weird thing that was happening. So I'm just going to select this. Bam, we have the pigeon. So I don't like how the leg is looking, but what can we do? You could sculpt on it, you know, you can make it look fancy, you know, have those wrinkles, surface details, but sculpting is for another time. I'm thinking of making a tutorial about how much Blender and Cinema 4D, not Cinema 4D, how much Blender, how can you use Blender as if it's Substance Painter. I have been using it for quite a time, and I have added this weird detail on this, which I should not, but no, adding my own touch for it, which looks weird. So I will just go ahead and continue making this part look good. When something doesn't look good, it will like cross you the whole time. Oh yeah, I figured this is the case. Make this like this, move this around a little bit. Good. Weird leg. So I'm just going to go ahead, add the eyes around. Select this to Shift S, cursor to selected, add this UV sphere thing, you know, decrease geometry 16 and rotate it in the y-axis, scale it in the x-axis. So we have this kind of look, scale it in the x-axis, go to the top view, 7 on the number pad, 7, Y is screencast tools disabled, I guess. Yeah, it's working now. Just going to go bam, bam, and let's have very large eyes, you know. Move it around here and go to the front view, rotate it like this, bam, we have this kind of eye. So as usual, we don't want to model everything. Just going to try this. We don't want to model everything, we want some parts mirrored for us. I'm just going to try and move this till it looks good. Okay, so I'm just going to add another one here. Just going to go ahead, mirror modifier. So I'm just going to click this part, the center parts, mirror around this. Bam, we have the eyes looking very good. So I'm just going to move it to the center a little bit. I think if we add the mouth, it will look better, but I'm just going to try it. Shift A, add cube again. Why not? And go ahead and bam, scale it up, bam, scale it down around here. Tab edit mode and scale it with the axis, and do this the same around here. So I'm just going to Control R this, scale it up. Bam, we have this. Scale it like this. and go to edge loop mode, scale it in the x-axis, Control 2 to add this. Bam, looking good already. Okay, so we have to scale it up like that, scale it in the z-axis a little bit more, and bam, scale it, go to H. Okay, right click, shade smooth, add something. Nope, I'm just going to leave it like this. This look good for a cartoony kind of pigeon. GZ axis, just add some details around it. So I'm just going to click everything and move it downwards a little bit. So we are almost done. I'm just going to add the part in here. I'm just going to click here, Shift S here, and add this cube. Scale it down more. Number, point on the number. Nope. What was the key I clicked? Why is screencast to get disabled every time I move it? Oh yeah, it's not disabled. I'm just going to Control 3 this, add an edge loop here, select this part and X vertices. I'm just going to go ahead and add a mirror modifier. Mirror. Where is it? Mirror modifier around here? So I'm just going to go ahead, bam, G and X axis. Select everything, Alt S to scale it down a little bit. And also it's adding that kind of. So after now it's just easy, you just have to extrude it again or rotate it a little bit, move it right here, extrude it, R, G. I don't know why pigeons have this thing though. Yeah, you should have X, delete the vertices. I'm just going to fill this space. And for edge mode, fill it. I think this is good. Yeah, we don't need more. Just going to enable the clipping thing, and add the mirror modifier above the subdivision modifier as always. And extrude it, R, X, Y, G and Z axis, G axis. Okay, okay, nice. I'm just going to move it backwards a little bit to look, form the geometry. Should probably, skip fast forward this little tricks so we can do this. So we are done with the modeling. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to texture this. We are just going to look at what it looks like for here. Looks like this. So this is easy. These are some just basic shaders you can just do, but first we have to add a backup, duplicate collection. So we have the same collection duplicated, and we are just going to click this button. So I'm just going to apply everything. Go ahead and apply this, apply from the top to bottom, to the bottom, because we want everything to be nice and clean. The modifier that's above everybody is going to be affected first, so we want the transition to be like that in the blender. Okay, apply this. Okay, cool. We have this much geometry for this thing. This is just solid. I'm just going to Control Z this, and this is enough for this. So we are going to make it animation ready like always. So I'm just going to rig it to click this, Control J, everything is selected. I don't think we should do that first. I'm just going to go ahead and add some kind of texture for them. First, we have a material that is given by Blender, so I'm just going to go ahead to look development mode and select this edge loops. I think we can just select this edge loop, Control plus, till we are up there. Just going to select C to select this part, C, dissolve this part, and go ahead, continue doing this process. So we have disabled the modifier, mirror modifier, so we can not select both parts together. So I'm just going to go ahead and make it like this. If you're wondering why this tutorial is longer than the Cinema 4D one, I'm just going to show you the everything parts. So he just time lapsed some parts, and I don't want to do that, and I want to make it more, show you the whole creative process where when you texture and stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and click this color. If I could just click it, it works. Assign this to this texture. I'm just going to go ahead and check it out. His looks a little bit blue. I'm just going to make it a little bit blue, why not, and add another one here, another edge loop here. I'm just going to go ahead, add a white one here. The top part is the purple, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the purple one first, selecting every part. So I'm just going to control minus this, add another one, assign this new, and make it purple ish. So we need it a bit purple. Why not? I'm just going to go ahead and go with this purple. What are the wings? The wings have some kind of colors in them, like this part, and added a color in this part. So I'm just going to select both. Add a new one, and add a new one, another one, and assign this one to this one. So we can just texture this part individually. Darker blue. Nope, not this. So I'm just going to go ahead and I think this is it, darkish bluish color. I'm just going to leave it like this. So this is just a look development mode, so we can just create whatever we want here and make it look like, make it more good in the final part. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this part, Control plus. I think we should do like this. Add a new one. We are going to make this yellow, yellowish. So assign this part. Good enough. Select the same thing here, Control plus, save you there, assign it the same color. Now we can just go ahead and continue texturing the same colors. So this is just the yellow material, and this is like the bluish thing. The rain is going off. I have been doing this for some time and I'm not stopping because of some rain. I'm just going to go ahead and just texture it. I'm just going to try and clean it in Adobe something. Add the blue thing here. Add another one, assign it to this one. I will add the blue material here and add the white material here. Add the white material here. So we are close enough, I guess. I'm just going to go ahead and go to the real deal cycles. So we have a rendering engine called Cycles in Blender in ED. So those are the like make it look more like Blender. Add some definitions to it, make it more cool. Add some final touches around, and let's go to shading mode, where we have the most control over our what we did. Just going to disable this, the eye icon, and go like here. For some reason, the other eye don't have the same texture, so I'm just going to go ahead, link everything X, and delete the vertices and mirror this again. I know we have applied the textures, but for we have applied the modifiers, but for the eye doesn't have much change while we are reading it. So I'm just going to go ahead and change the blue color. That's not quite good. I'm just going to go ahead and change it to something like darker bluish thing. Let's go to cycles and change the render engine to cycles. Eevee is just a real-time one, which is not the best